Hi everyone and welcome back. So let's talk about set 4 of objective questions, and here we are talking about these objective questions where one of these we have to select as an answer. So here, what is the event.target when clicking onto a button? So here target will always be that DOM node where you are making an action like click, on key up, on key down, on change. So here on click you are making actually on the button. So target should be a button only. What will be when you click onto a paragraph, what's the logged output? Yeah, this is interesting. So when you click on it, we already know that there is a capturing and bubbling phase happens. So when you click on it, first it will print the paragraph, then the event will propagate further because we are not stopping the propagation. So it will print paragraph, p tag and div tag. So it should be A as an answer. Now coming to this, so we have person object, and we are actually having this method say hi, and we are printing this dot name, and we are calling this say hi by using dot call. We are overriding the context with the person object. So this dot name should point to the person object, which is name here. Okay, which is this name should appear, and we are doing bind. So here the difference between call, apply, bind. Call and apply are actually used to override the context, but bind doesn't call it. Bind actually gives you the new function. Okay, so console.log function will always be undefined, or a function. Sorry, yeah, it should be a function. So say hi.call, it will actually replace name with this. So okay, this would be D, I think, because the second one bind will create a new function, it will not call it. So you can see the answer is D. Bind returns a copy of the function. Okay, this type of say hi we are calling. Say hi is returning another arrow function. I mean, this is a immediate invoking functional expression. It is calling itself, returning 0, and type of a number is a number, so it should be B. Okay, which of these values are falsy? So 0 is falsy, and then empty quotes with a space or undefined, all these are falsy. So we can see C 0, empty quotes, and new boolean false and undefined. So answer is A. Okay, sorry. So because new boolean is actually an object, new number is also an object, so false will be 0, empty quotes and undefined. Type of 1. So type of 1 will be a number which is of type string. So you are again getting type of string is a string. So type of 1 will be a number in the double quotes. So type of this will be a string, right? Okay, coming to this, what will be the output? We are actually assigning number 10 equal to 11, but our current array length is only 3. So in that particular case, what JavaScript does, it actually enters the remaining elements as an empty. So you can see 1 2 3, there are 7 empty elements, then the 11th element is 11, right, starting from 0th index. So it should be C. Okay, this is about a scope. So we have like let x, this is a ify block, so this code will execute itself. We have let xy. In try, we are actually throwing an exception. Whenever it executes, it will throw an exception, so it will go to the catch block. And x we are actually overriding with, x is here is an exception object, but here we are overriding x equal to 1. So here console.x should be 1, and then we see console.log x here and y. So in this particular scope, if you see, x is 1 in this local scope, so x should be undefined here, and y is declared here, and y is equal to 2. So you should get x1 undefined and 2. Now if you're trying to understand what happens in this example, so you can see x is being passed and x is overriding whatever we have defined in the scope, and x, the value of x is limited to the try catch block. Okay, If we haven't passed x in the catch block, then might be x will also be available here in this global in the outer scope. So the value should be 1 and defined 2. You can we can go through the explanation also. Outside of catch block, x is still undefined and y is 2. So we set the block scope variable equal to 1 and set the value of variable y. Now if we log block scope variable x, then that is equal to 1. So this is tricky questions. I found it at many places. So it's 1 and defined 2. Everything in JavaScript is either a primitive or an object. I think that is correct. Primitives covers a string, boolean, number, symbol. Object covers the array or object or anything else. Here we are actually doing reduce operations. What we are doing is, so we can solve it if we understand how reduce works. Reduce has an initializer. It actually concat. So accumulator, the value of accumulator is initially 1 and 2, and it is concating 1 and 2 with 0 and 1. So it should be 1 2 0 1 2 3. 1 2 0 1 2 3. Our output should be C. What should be the output? Null is considered as a false. So double negation always just convert things into the boolean. So if you put here empty quotes, so it should be false false and true. False false true. It should be B. So it will convert 1 to false, and it will turn out to true. False false true. Okay, what does set interval method returns in the browser? Okay, set interval and clear interval. Okay, so a unique id console.log hi set interval, and actually it will actually keep executing this in each and every second, right? So set into what does set interval method returns in the browser. So what we are doing is a unique id, because there is a set interval, clear interval, set timeout, clear timeout. So it should return a unique id to track it. Returns a unique id. This id can be used to clear the interval. Yes, so this is important. Set timeout or clear timeout, set interval, clear interval returns a unique id, which also gives us, so you can actually assign it to some variable, and while doing a clear interval you can pass the same id. Okay, what does this returns? We are doing a spread on the string, so it will actually spread the characters. That should be a simple one. It should be simply A. Okay, it is an example of generators and iterator. We created a generator function, and we are doing yield I and yield I multiply by 2. So we are creating iterable object Jan by calling this generator function with 10. So it will yield value two values, 10 and 20. So here it should return 10 and an object. It should be okay, gen.next.value. Value should be first value should be I10, and then I think it should be 10 and 20. There should be no such surprise, because it returns an object which keeps boolean and the value. So it should be C, 10 and 20. What does this returns? Okay, so here what we are doing is first promise, second promise, and what we are doing is, so there are many concepts around promises. Promise.all, promise.trace, or promise.all will resolve only if all the promises are resolved. Promise.trace will resolve even if one of the two promises are resolved. Okay, it doesn't wait for all the promises to get resolved. Even if one fails or one pass, then also it will execute. It is just wait for first success. Okay, first promise will take 500 milliseconds. Okay, so this is actually resolving the promise after 500 milliseconds with this data, and it is doing with 100 second. Console.log response, so it should be simple too. Okay, let's see. Yes, answer is B. So when we pass multiple promise.trace method, it resolves reject the first promise. Okay, so it is just wait for either first resolve or first reject, and it will return that. That is the output here. This is a person object, and we are actually creating members and putting this person as an index of an array. Then we are putting person as a null. Little interesting. then we are putting members, so members equal to person is now pointing to null. We put members array of person. So just think about it, what output can it be? So person is an object, we put member, so here member should be an object of an array. Now person is pointing to a null because it's a shared reference, but members is now a new reference. So based on my understanding, it should be a D. Yes, because you actually person is now pointing to null, but the member is actually new reference you have created, which is having this object, right? So this is how it like this. So person is pointing to this, then we declare a variable members, we set the first element, right? Now both of these are pointing to this. Now person becomes null, person start pointing to null, but member is still pointing to the same object. That's why we are able to see that. Here we have person and we are doing for in loop onto this, and we are trying to print the item. So simple, it's a simple for in loop. So item will be the keys, console.log keys, which is name and age. I think there is no such strange thing here, so we should get name and age B, correct. Console.log 3 plus 4, so it will concatenate arithmetic operation and then it will concatenate like a string, so it should be 75. Now this parseInt, so parseInt actually takes two argument, the expression and the base. So 7 should be 42, simple. Let me think about it. It's an arithmetic operation, so you can pass. Okay, here I'm wrong. Only first argument is the string is returned, so parseInt you can't do a calculation or something. Okay, wait. So what it is doing is you are actually passing this is a string, right? So parseInt will treat this is a string, and now when it is parsing this into an integer, it will see, okay, 7 I'm able to identify, but this is a character now. So even if you do a parseInt 23 ABC, the output will be a 23. So similarly this is considered as a character, so output should be simple 7. Okay, so here we are doing map onto the array, and we are just checking type of num is a number, that is correct, then we are just returning it. So every element is of type number, and if type is number then we are returning, so we should get null. I mean, a map will always create a new array for each and every index, so return, we are not returning anything, so it should be treated as undefined or null. I mean, that is for sure it should be in between B and C, but are we going to get null or undefined? It should be, in the guess it should be undefined. Let's see. Yes, undefined. So when we are not returning any value, then that is considered as undefined, and it will return the undefined array. Okay, so that is set 4. Let's talk more questions in the next video, and we will also talk related items of a particular questions.